That sounds so crazy coming out of my mouth right now. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, my name is Taryn. This is My Life as Taryn, where we talk about everything from my journey with Christ to motherhood to just inspiring things to inspire and motivate you. Anyway, so basically this video is going to be as titled How I Manage as a Single Mom, that being financially, mentally, emotionally, all of that. I'm going to try to insert within a reasonable time. Yes, I talk with my hands. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry for people. Well, anyway, so I did write down a few notes just so I don't miss anything. I do like to go in detail about certain things just so y'all can get a better understanding and it kind of makes sense and it flows. So let's go ahead and get into the video. All right, you guys, so I've talked about this in a lot of my previous videos. I've talked about this in a lot of my previous videos, but if you're new, basically I am a single mom. I've been divorced for 4 years in December of 2020, because I don't know what year you're watching this, but December of 2020 will make 4 complete years I've been divorced from my daughter's dad. And I do not receive any child support. Not a dime, not a nickel, not a quarter, not a penny, not anything whatsoever. There is a court order. I am supposed to receive a certain amount every month, but I don't. I don't receive anything at all. I think the last time I received any kind of child support, maybe a year ago. Maybe. Had to be. I want to say. Yeah, because it was like around Bailey's birthday, which is in October. So yeah, it was pretty much a year ago was the last time I actually really received any money. So yeah. Also, I don't have any like kind of Section 8 or anything like that. There's nothing wrong with Section 8. I just don't have it. Like, I would love to pay $20 for rent or however amount, but I pay a little over $1,000 for housing, so I don't have that. But there is other ways to maneuver around, you know, your circumstances. I actually had someone write me on my divorce video. If you have not seen how I got my divorce in 20 days, completely free in 20 days, go check that video out after you watch this one. But I do have like a lot of people comment and ask me questions, and some I know and some I don't know, of course. But one in particular, she was asking about, I guess, medical. For my daughter personally, she has Medicaid. Right now I am a single mom. I am a full-time college student, y'all. Full-time. So I don't have, you know, a job that provides medical. I don't understand why they gotta make it so expensive. I really don't. I think that is unnecessary. It definitely makes me want to move to Canada ASAP in a hurry, but I ain't got that kind of money to move out the country just yet. So yes, my daughter has Medicaid. I am still currently in this moment under the age of 26, so I'm still covered under my dad. But after that, Jesus take the wheel. Jesus take the wheel. Because I don't know. But yes, my daughter has Medicaid. Also, I know people ask about daycare. So for daycare, when I was working, well, let me back up. So I know for a fact every place you live has some kind of assistance with daycare, because one is extremely expensive. When my daughter first started daycare, I want to say I was paying almost $800 a month for daycare. on my own. Mind you, my ex does not pay child support and has not paid child support. It was very sporadic. But anyway, so I would pay $800 a month for her to go to daycare until I got accepted in the program that helped pay for the daycare. Then at that point, I think I was paying $200 a month for daycare after that. But now that I'm a full-time student, the program pays the complete daycare. They pay the complete daycare. I don't have to pay anything. Thank you, Jesus, because being a single mom who is a full-time college student, like you guys, full-time, I take four classes. That's, you know, 12 credit hours. Technically right now I'm taking a foreign language, so that's 13 credit hours, but you get the point, you get the gist. I'm full-time, therefore they take care of it, which is a super blessing. It did take a year and a half for me to even get in the program. Yeah, it took a year and a half before I could even get in the program. It wasn't that I didn't qualify. The waiting list was legit so long. It took so long to get on that wait list. Like a year and a half to get on that wait list. So I was paying like $800 a month. So when Bailey was first born, she was staying at home with my mom. My parents moved to Florida. So I don't technically have family in Austin. I have my brother and I have my sister, but they have their own lives. They're also in their 20s, so they have their own lives. So it's not like I could just be like, hey, you know, can you get, you know, Bailey for the weekend? No, that's not gonna happen. My child is with me all the time. All the time, which I'm fine with that. Like the only breaks I get is when she's in school, because right now she is in pre-kindergarten, and then, you know, she goes to daycare after, because pre-kindergarten is like 3 hours, but then after that she goes to daycare. Yeah, that's legit the only time I have to myself is when she's at school or daycare. I don't get any space besides that. She does sometimes go to, you know, her grandparents, or she'll go, not my parents of course, but his parents, and sometimes she'll go with him, but that's not very frequently. It may not be with, it might be like 2 months and then she would go, so it's not very often. Let me put it like that, not very often. So other than that, she is with me a lot, all the time. So that, I think at this point, I'm just really used to it. Like, she's 5. That sounds so crazy coming out my mouth right now. Sis is 5, yeah. Yeah, she's 5. And so I really feel like at this point, I'm just used to her always being with me and me always doing, for the most part, kid-friendly things. Like, I do kind of get some space to myself, but not really. Since I am a full-time college student, you guys, I do Instacart sometimes. You know, just bringing a little bit of extra money. So I definitely get, you know, student loans, grants, and what I usually do is pay up my rent for the semester. So right now, when I got my money in August, I paid for pretty much the rest of this year. And when I go back to school in the spring, I will pay for that semester. So that's how I pay my rent. And then my bills that are like monthly, the rent's monthly of course, but other bills that are monthly, like my phone bill, the lights, because that's not included in rent, the gas, that's not included in rent. What else ain't included in rent? There's so many things. But if you pay bills, you know these monthly things that you gotta pay monthly, or just purchase, like toilet paper, or paper towels, or just regular cleaning supplies that you gotta purchase. What I try to do is buy all that stuff in bulk so it lasts a few months. Like toilet paper, or paper towels, or what are those? The sponges, what else? anything you could probably go to like Costco or Sam's to buy in bulk for cleaning purposes. I try to do that, you know, even though I only have one kid, I try to do that so I'm not constantly going to the store and buying the same thing. I cannot stand that. Sometimes that's not how it plays out. Sometimes I do end up just buying it at the regular grocery store, and that's fine. Like, none of this is perfect. I don't have it down to a T, but I am maintaining, and that's just like my little trick. Like, I don't have a big family, but I do think it's important for me to have a Costco or a Sam's Club card so I can continuously buy those certain items. Now, I don't buy food in bulk because that's kind of wasteful. Like, it's legit me and Bailey, and we don't eat that much. Like, we eat, but we don't need food from Costco or Sam's Club because that's just way too much food for us. We can go to the regular grocery store and that'd be good enough. So let's see, what else? Also, I know some people are like, well, how in the world are you like still paying your bills? I do get, so my dad was in the military, I get a grant, a monthly housing allowance. That pays bills. You know, it's not, if you know anything about the military, baby, they don't pay that much. They pay a decent amount, but I definitely am not balling out of control. But it does pay for, like, you know, my car note or the lights or, you know, my phone, like stuff like that. That definitely pays those bills. But I'm an adult, okay? So sometimes the light bill be $100. That's in the summer mainly, but these bills add up. Like, you can have 4 bills and easily they rack up to like $700, and they're just 4 bills. So trust me, I get it. I definitely get it. That's why I do Instacart some of the time. I've been doing it a lot lately within this month, just because I have certain goals in mind I've been setting for myself, monthly goals. That's also how I keep on track of like my life, like what do I want to achieve. So I will say it's very, very, very important as a single mom, just a mom period, to have a schedule, like a weekly schedule. And I have like this big dry erase board thing. It's very pretty, and it's like my to-do list. You know, some people write it out on like a little piece of paper. Nope, I got this big, you know, one. It has the days of the week. And so for the whole week, depending on what that, you know, week is, I'll write out everything I know I need to get done. But typically I start off with my monthly calendar. So my agenda for the whole month, I will put in my goals or assignments that are gonna be due, or what else? Or events that are gonna be happening, or doctor's appointments. Like, I schedule out my whole month. So October is already planned. I'm about to start on November for 2020 and just, you know, schedule that out. But I definitely have to schedule out the whole month. Then I have to write my to-do for the week. And so that would consist of different things, like, okay, my goal is to go to the gym 3 times a week, or my goal is to do Instacart 4 times a week, or, you know, just those different things to put in the week that's also been planned out for the month. So it's a lot of organization. I will say that being a single mom or a mom period is a lot of organization, and I had to learn that. Get on top of it. Don't wait the last minute. Also what really helped me, you guys. So like I said, I don't get a lot of time away from Bailey, except for, of course, when she is at school and daycare. Other than that, sis is with me. There's really no time apart. So what I try to do, and I do this for the most part, is wake up before she wakes up. So I have to drop off Bailey 8:30 every single Monday. I mean 8:30 every single weekday, Monday through Friday, right? What I personally try to do is wake up earlier so I can just get myself together. It's kind of like a job, you know? It is a job, not kind of like a job, but it is a job. So, you know, before you go to work, you don't want to wake up like, what, 30 minutes before you have to be there. You want to wake up like probably a couple of hours before you have to be there, so you can get your mind together, so you can be like, okay, we're gonna have a good day. You know, you want to get yourself together. So me, I like to get up, I try to get up 2 hours before I wake her up, or at least an hour before I wake her up. Like I said, you guys, this is not perfect, but this is what helps me not lose my mind, okay? Not lose my mind. So I try to wake up earlier, pray, read my devotionals, listen to praise and worship music, worship the Lord, thank him for everything, thank him for the opportunity to even be a mother, and have this responsibility, thank him for the roof over my head, thank him for everything. So that's like my morning routine. Regardless if I wake up like an hour or 2 hours before I have to wake her up, I usually wake her up about 7:30. I have to do those things to get my mind right. So like I said, it's just like going to work. You gotta get your mind right. You gotta be like, okay, Lord, I'm gonna let you have control over the day. I know what I need to get done. I know, you know, this, and that. And you stay focused, you stay organized, and that way you don't feel so overwhelmed. Like, I haven't yet got to the point where I have a weekly budget, but I have got to the point where I have a monthly budget on how, like, what bills are owed. I'm not really sure how that weekly part plays or whatever. But anyway, so that's some of how I kind of like stay in the rhythm, stay in the flow. Like, I put in the days where I am filming. Like, it's not just spur of the moment. Like, I put this in my week. Like, when I do my weekly planning and my monthly planning, I put it in the week so I can have an overview. Like, okay, you're supposed to be here, you're supposed to be there. Organization really helps out tremendously. I will say that. Now, I know y'all are probably like, but sis, why don't you work? I don't understand. Well, first of all, let's start off with the fact that I have no help. I don't have any help when it comes to Bailey. It legit is me and Bailey. So, like I said, my brother has a life, my sister has a life. They also have jobs. So for me to want to work a regular part-time job, because that's all I would have time for, considering the fact I'm in school full-time and I'm a mom full-time, I wouldn't have no one to watch Bailey besides the time she's in daycare, which before the pandemic, I used to be in a classroom at this time. So that means I would either have to work nights or work weekends, and that was not really feasible for my life. Like, I still have to provide, like, granted I have to provide for my child, but I also need to take care of her, like be there for her, be there with her. And she's no one else's responsibility besides my own. So, and it was something, I didn't just up and quit my job, because I was working part-time, going to school full-time, and taking care of Bailey full-time, of course. And I was completely drained, y'all, completely drained. The job I was working was my dental assisting job, and they wanted so much from me from the little time I was there. So I want to say I worked probably less than 20 hours a week, y'all, less than that. And it was such a demand on my time, like such a demand. I really didn't have time to clean my house. I didn't have time to cook every night. I just didn't have the time, because I knew I had to wake up at 6:30, get ready for work, drop Bailey off at daycare, go to work. Then I would leave from work, go straight to school. Most of the time I didn't have time to even go home. I had to go straight to school, be at school all day, rush across town and pick Bailey up from daycare, come home, and it was just a repeated cycle Monday through Friday. Terrible. It was like, I barely had time to study. I mean, I really didn't have time to do anything, and I just felt, one, exhausted, and I was like slowly getting depressed because I couldn't even spend time with Bailey. Like, we would go to bed, usually most of the time we'd be in bed by 7:30. I would end up stopping at like a fast food restaurant, and we would be in bed by 7:30 because I would have to repeat and do everything again. So no, this is exactly why I do Instacart and why I do YouTube and why I do, you know, all these things, because they're time consuming, but they're not time consuming, if that makes sense. Like, I have more of free time to, one, make sure my house like gets cleaned. Y'all, dishes would pile up. You're like, how dish pile be well cooking? Mind your business. Mind your business. But dishes pile up, laundry pile up, everything. My house would be a complete disaster because I was too tired to clean. I was too tired to do everything, so I didn't have time to do anything. So that was a huge factor in why I was like, okay, if I'm gonna work somehow, I cannot work a 9 to 5 or a 9 to 2 or anything that requires me to be in this building at this time. Like, I just can't do it. Like, I'm trying to do everything, and the Lord showed me, okay, I got this. And y'all, he's been taking care of me and Bailey. Y'all see, that's the Lord. And so my last and final tip, or just like how I manage and maintain, pay your tithes. Pay your tithes, y'all. Once I got disciplined enough to start paying my tithes, basically off of everything I get, I pay 10% off of everything that comes through my bank account. Everything that comes through my bank account, I give 10% back. Because first of all, the money wasn't mine to begin with. Let's start there. And secondly, I've seen such a significant difference in my life since I started tithing. My credit got good. Real good. Y'all see that car I got outside? So like I was saying, my credit got good. Y'all, things just started flying off my credit report that some things, yeah. So like I said, my credit got good. That was like one significant thing. And I noticed that I was never broke. Like, people make it seem like, oh, well, tithing, why does the Lord need money, blah, 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 blah. If you know where your treasure is, I'll put the scripture down below. But that's one of the scriptures where basically you can't serve money and you can't serve two gods. You have to serve one God, right? So you can't serve your bank account and serve the Lord like that. You can't be like, oh, this is all my money, I work hard for this. First of all, no, it wasn't yours. It wasn't yours. So sorry, boo. So yeah, that's why I'm not like there will be a season where I have this. I know one day there will be a season where I'm just abundance of, like, you know, abundance of money and everything. I will have those things, but in this season I have enough, and that works perfectly fine. And I definitely always give back 10% of what I make from Instacart, what I get from my student loans, what I get from like my monthly housing allowance. All of that 10% goes back to the Lord, goes back to the church. And people are like, why you want to give the church money? So for some people who really don't understand how all of this works, how, you know, they have a negative connotation about church, the church, for most instances, really helps their the people that belong to the church. So the people that go to the church, specifically members of the church, that helps them, right? So there's been more, not that many times, there's been twice, y'all, where I wasn't sure how I was gonna pay my electric bill. Like, I legit didn't know how. And I called my church. Like, I was like, hey, I don't know how this bill's gonna get paid. They paid the bill, no questions asked. It was like, okay, where's the bill? Gave them the bill, they paid it. Twice, y'all. Like, they 1 year gave us, was it last year? I think last year, gave us a thing to make, what's it called? Thanksgiving dinner. So the church is actually like one of the places of resources for the people. So when people say, oh, I don't want to give, you know, my money to the church, well, that's the Lord's storehouse. And if you're not giving to his storehouse, that's a problem. That's a huge problem. Your money, first of all, when money leaves your hand, it's not your business where it goes. First of all, don't learn this the hard way, learn it now. Once that money leave your hand, that is not your business where it goes. It's not. Secondly, that money really helps other people, like single moms, or, you know, people going through hardships or addiction issues, things of that nature. So I think people really fail to realize the church is supposed to be a community of people. Really, it's a hospital. It's there for resources. It's there for healing. It's there for a multitude of things. Does it always have to be just a building? In the sense of paying your tithes, yes, it do need to be a church, or that's just charity work you decided to do. Let's be clear. Let's be very clear about that. Paying your tithes has to be to a church, not to the homeless man down the block. That is called charity work, and that's on you. That's completely separate. But anyway, so the church is definitely one of those fantastic resources I've been blessed to have, because I know as a single mom, a lot of times you feel alone. You feel like you have no one to talk to. The emotional strain is a lot. It really is. And so that's why you need to have community around you. Community is so important. Me being a believer, for me, that's going to the church. I've met some amazing women that I've talked to who've been walking out the whole single mom thing. And they spoke into my life in such a positive way to help me go through this season that I'm currently in, because this season of single momhood, it's not forever, it's temporary. I know that I will be married and I know I will have more kids, but in this particular season, being a single mom, my mom wasn't a single mom, so she really doesn't have any advice for me. There's really not much she can tell me because she's never had to do everything on her own. So having older women who are old enough to be my mother walk me through this season on a biblical standpoint, because I feel like that's very, very important. It needs for me to be biblical, and if it's not, but anyway, it has to be biblical for me. And so having that, the Lord has blessed me with that, and I wouldn't have had that if I hadn't went to the church. So I know that the building itself has a negative connotation sometimes, depending on what your experience was, but that's not for all churches, and that's not for all people. Not all people are, however, you know, that person might have treated you that way, but that's not how the Lord treated you. So don't think how someone who said, oh, I'm a Christian, treated you equates to all Christians. That's not how it works. Or, you know. So let me see, was there anything else? Yeah, so yeah, that is pretty much how I survive and manage in this season of single motherhood. Doing everything on my own without, you know, any real help physically, emotionally, and just find the means, find that balance. Like I said, keeping a schedule is very important. Monthly schedule, weekly schedule, so you don't start to feel overwhelmed. Just planning ahead. You gotta plan ahead, and that's when you're a mom, period. You have to plan ahead. Like, that's why I have multiple calendars, to-do lists, calendars, agendas, all of that stuff is very vital in my life. And I notice when I don't have that and when I don't spend time with the Lord, I'm all over the place. I'm like all over the place. You can't find me. Like, I'm stressed out, and it just ain't a good look. It's like stress don't look good on me. I'm only 25, okay? Very vibrant. I really hope this blessed somebody. I know this was like a really requested video, was how I managed, because I really don't ever want to make things seem perfect, like I got this down packed. No, I am not perfect at all, but I'm very intentional. And I feel like when you're very intentional and one, how you raise your kids, how you live your life, like all of that, the Lord sees favor upon you. He does. He really does. He sees that you're very intentional and that you're working hard. And like I always put in our mind, I forget what scripture is, but it's like, you don't work for that human person, you work for the Lord. So what you do should be, you know, pleasing to him in his eyes, not pleasing to that human in their eyes. Because God doesn't judge how humans judge. You know, humans, we judge from the outside, you know, but God judges from your heart. What is the posture of your heart? So I try to keep that in mind when I do anything. Okay, does this please the Lord? Was I walking in obedience? Like, all those things mean so much to me versus, oh, do they like me? Well, maybe they want me to stop talking about Jesus. I'm not. Sorry. But yeah, so is it pleasing to the Lord? And I feel like, not saying that good works is the reason that, you know, you win your salvation, because you don't win salvation. Grace is the reason you have salvation. But anyway, this ain't a Bible study. Point is, this is how I survive. This is how I get through. And this is my portion for the time being, and I'm very happy with it. This is my life. I feel like you have to love your life and no one else's life. Your life is the one God gave you for a reason. So therefore, there's no reason for you to look in this lane or look in that lane. Stay in your lane. Mind your business. And always praise the Lord and please him, and you will be happy. Because people are fickle. They change their minds and how they feel and all that stuff. The Lord don't change. All right, so I really hope this blessed somebody in some kind of way, that you got some kind of clarification on something. Y'all stay blessed, y'all stay encouraged, and stay in the word, honey. Bye.